Good afternoon, everybody. I've got Gary Darnell here with me from Provsec Ltd. Gary, I'd love for you to just start with a little bit about what you guys do and when you guys got started.
All right, okay. Well, my name's Gary Darnell, as you've just been told. Provsec, basically we're a CCTV provider for construction sites. We also provide manpower for construction sites and also man guards. So we're a facilitations company really for construction sites really. I started out in 1998. I had a career as a prison officer. Got a bit disillusioned with that and thought, I'd like to work for myself. I'd like to do something for myself. I was getting to a point in my life where I thought, well, I had a few ideas. People I'd spoken to in the industry as far as security is concerned. And I got a couple of offers to run nightclubs, security on nightclubs.
Okay.
So I thought, well, okay, it was a bit of a gamble, a bit of a risk. I left the prison service, which was like a career really. So I thought I left that, jumped straight in, got into the nightclubs game. I'd done that for a few years, and then basically through that I got more contacts asking would I be prepared to do commercial security and also construction sites. So right, okay, I didn't really want to get too far ahead of myself either, because I had a fair few lads that were working of a night time, but I'd never done anything daytime work. So I sort of looked into that and thought, well, okay, can't be much different. So yeah, we're based in 2008. That was. We thought we'll shift on, and we'll get into that. So we did that. Then obviously we noticed the industry was changing, i.e. man guards were sort of not being phased out, but they were expensive, and the CCTV had come in. So we thought, I thought let's jump in there. So it come a bit of a name change then. We went from a Providence Security to Provsec Limited, which is sort of a little bit more dynamic, get a little bit, well, we thought get it out there. Anyway, so we then decided to get into manpower, providing like telehandlers. Don't even know what that is. It's like forklift trucks, telehandlers on construction sites, vehicle banksmen, then people who guide the vehicles, hoist operators. So the man guards that we had, what I decided to do then was train them up for them positions, so we wouldn't lose them, they wouldn't lose the jobs, and so upskill, and we got a lot of joy out of that from companies who are happy with that, with the CSR, corporate social responsibility, getting people upskilled. So we were sort of in with CSR back in 2009, 2010, which is really big now. Well, we were doing that 10 years ago. So we're quite passionate about that. So that's where we're at now in 2022. We've gone from being dormant bouncers to being a pretty decent security company, also manpower. So yeah, we've expanded in 28 years, off the top of my head, 22, 20, 20, well, anyway, 24 years, I think it is, something like that.
Yeah.
So we've been going quite a long time.
Wow,
so yeah, that's us really. And it was just a gamble. Simply, I had no business. I'd never been to college or anything like that. I mean, I left school with no O levels or anything like that. And I just basically self-taught in the business. I've been lucky with people I had around me. That was always really, really good for me. My ex-wife, she was an accountant, so she was good with figures. My business partner, he's ex-Royal Navy, so he was good with that. So I surrounded myself with good people. So things that I didn't know, I could find out. And yeah, we've gone from strength to strength to strength.
I mean, brilliant. That's really testimony to it's not what you know, but it's who you know, isn't it? Yeah,
100%. And I think also it's just having a bit of courage to do it. I mean, if it doesn't come off, it doesn't come off. Not, it's one of them things. I've tried other things. I owned a pub. It didn't work. But I tried it, and I would have kicked myself if I didn't have tried it. You know, unfortunately, I done that when the first recession hit us. So, but who knew that was going to happen? So, but the business plan was fantastic because it was right by the new Everton football ground that was going to get built. And I thought, yes, great, bought that. And then, unfortunately, Everton decided not to build that ground. So it all went to pot. But who knows? It's just a gamble, isn't it? It's just a gamble. So
Definitely.
yeah, I think business is basically a gamble. You know, you've got an idea, go with it. Be a bit flexible, obviously, with your goals. But you know, just go with it and see where it takes you. It's a journey, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think a lot of people, a lot of business owners that I've spoken to as well, they always say that. They always say that, just do it. If you're a young person with anything in mind, with any idea or desire to do it, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Honestly, at the end of the day, even if it doesn't work out, you can still say to people, I tried to do that.
I tried, yeah. I mean, okay, there was an added risk that I left a job, which was a good paid job.
Yeah, of course.
Added risk, but that was a risk that I was prepared to take. You know,
there's
that. Right? I do understand that would hold somebody else back. You know what I mean? Because you've got. How would I explain? The prison service was like my cushion that I was lying on, and then I just dragged it away and banged my head, and off I went. So you just
sometimes you need that though. Sometimes
having that cushion dragged away.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's fantastic as well that you did that yourself. Like you did it to yourself, you know, with your own intention behind it, rather than anyone else, you know, trying to like basically being in control of that change of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a decision. I just didn't want to all my life be working for somebody else. I wanted to do something for myself. So, and now the beauty is now that my son's involved in it. He's come out of the army. He's got involved, and he's doing really, really well with the business. And he's taken the business the next step, so I can then pass it on to him. So it's like a legacy then.
Yeah, absolutely. Generational. That's something that's really, really awesome. And I think as well, like you probably would have inspired him to see your father, or definitely somebody close to you making that jump, you know, regardless of all the fears around it or whatever, just taking the plunge and doing it, and obviously to pull it off as well. I think that must have been amazing for him to kind of experience.
So yeah, I do sometimes think, how did they do that? Because a lot of it, honestly, you just bluffed your way through a lot of it, because you do. Honestly, you just bluff your way through it, and if it comes off, it comes off.
Yeah, fake it.
Always know that it might not come off as well.
I think, what did someone else say the other day? Oh, it was the way he said it was so funny, but it was basically like, things are never going to turn out the way that you think they're going to turn out. So just be ready.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was like a contingency plan or something. You know, that's a big must. You know, if I decide to do something, I always get, like, the girls are always saying to me, you know, you always think of the worst thing. But it's the worst case scenario always with me. I always look forward and think, what is the worst that can happen? So I need to be prepared for that. And I've always been like that. It's just something about maybe just me personally.
Yeah.
But they always say, always think about the worst things. Well, yeah, it might happen though, mightn't it? So let's have a little
I feel
plan.
like if you're prepared for the worst thing, then you're all good.
Yes.
You're right.
Exactly. So that's me.
Brilliant. I mean, it's so inspiring as well. This is exactly what we love to hear. In terms of your ideal clients and the people that you kind of gear your service towards, who are the people that you kind of get seen?
Well, obviously it's the big construction companies. We have a main client. It's wrong to say a main client, because all the clients we treat the same. But we have one that we've had a relationship with since day dot, really, right from the beginning, and that's Kia Construction, which is a massive company in the UK. So we've sort of gauge our business around them. So let's take their health and safety minimum requirements. They're our health and safety minimum requirements.
I see.
So you know what I mean. So because, you know, whatever they've got, getting their contracts, if we've got that as well, when they come to us, it's something that they're doing the same as what we're doing. Why go for someone else when this company is doing everything that we're doing the same way? Health and safety is a massive thing in the construction industry.
Of course.
We've lost you. Did I lose you there? No.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Are you still back? Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, it's Kia Construction is probably the biggest one, but we do others. We've got Barnes' Construction. There's a few others.
Mm.
We've worked for Manfields as well. There's a lot off the top of my head. We also we do schools as well. We do a lot of schools. We've got Belvedere School. I don't know if you know that. It's the girls' school in South Liverpool.
Mm.
It's very prestigious. It's a private school, so we've looked after them for about 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah,
Wow.
they're the type of companies we're involved with. You know, we try to shy away from the companies that we sort of see as being around for only 3 or 4 months and 6 months. You know, we want
Yeah.
the big national companies who we can trust.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that doesn't happen. I mean, I've got a lot of friends who worked for Collierian, who obviously went bust and took a lot of subcontractors with them. But that can happen, you know, that can happen. So that's probably that's the only one I know of in 20 odd years. So that's
Wow.
not the norm. That's not the norm. Usually the big companies are the ones that you can sort of trust and stay with, you know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. In terms of your own business journey, I mean, it's already a fascinating story from what you've told me, going from, prison officer to working in nightclubs to owning a successful company for 24 years. What has been the most inspiring thing to you along your journey so far? If you could put it in a nutshell, I don't know if you can.
Inspiring. Well, I think inspiring for me is like I told you about. We got involved with CSR right back in 2008. We upskilled our man guards to obviously to work on construction sites in other roles. So that's really inspiring. Is us the CSR value in the companies that I try to inspire to do that to get proper jobs to get good pay and things like that. So yeah, that's what inspires me.
Yeah. I mean, that's brilliant. I think that's probably one of the most important factors when people are looking at kind of their jobs and stuff and longevity. Of course, it's about progression in any role that you do. It's not just about starting off in one role and then staying that in the same place
Exactly. Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
same
Yeah. Exactly.
skills and the same pay for 10 odd years. It's definitely that kind of progression that people want, and I think now we're in an interesting time now because more attention, I think, than ever is being paid towards people's work-life balance and the value that they get from their work.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of contracts that you go for now, the CSR value is big. When you put a bid in, say that the manpower is going to cost this, the vehicles are going to cost this, and then what's the CSR value? And 20% of the project is CSR value. So that's a massive part of the bid. So if you can go to a client and say, well, if you give us the job, I'm going to invest in the local community. I'm going to get 5 or 6 people off the dole who've been long term. I'm going to upskill. I don't know, a cleaner. I'm going to make him a hoist operator, and it's all going to be in the community. You're going to get that contract, even if it's not even if you're not the cheapest. You're going to get that contract because of the CSR value, and that's what we sort of. Well, we want our company to be seen as that type of company, like a family company, a community company.
Yeah,
and I think that's a big thing, especially now.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of any advice that you would give to young business owners, but also even to your younger self, before starting this company, what advice would you give?
Yeah, advice. So, obviously, what I always tell my kids is obviously live within your means straight away. Don't ever get into debt and things like that to an 18-year-old. And big one, take responsibility for your mistakes. Do you know what I mean? See them as an opportunity and learn from them. It's not a negative. Like I said, take a chance. That was what I'd say to my 18. Take a chance and learn from mistakes, and see the positive in things. Even in a negative, there's always a positive. And if you've got that sort of around you, you'll go far, I think.
Definitely, definitely. It's always that, it's that decision whether you want to be you know, an optimist or a pessimist about something. And I think
Yeah,
there's, I think a lot of a lot of people I know who are actual, I think they are pessimists. They just say that they're realists, but I don't think that you can be realistic, but at the same time you can't deny that there's always something good to gain from any situation.
I'm a realist. I am
Mm.
a realist. But what's wrong with being a positive realist?
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
very positive, but I'm not. I'm a realist. You've
Mm,
got to be realistic,
mm.
especially in business.
Yes.
It's no good having goals that you're never going to achieve.
Mm,
So you have to be, but you've still got to be have a positive attitude to try and get as far down the road, as far down the journey as you can get. You know what I mean? So yeah,
definitely,
so I am
definitely.
a realist, but I'm a positive realist.
Mm. Interesting.
That's-
In terms of the biggest issues that you guys have overcome, especially let's look at the past couple of years with COVID and everything, how did that affect you guys?
Well, COVID. To be perfectly honest, COVID with us, other than the working from home,
Mm.
which at the moment now is actually is becoming a positive because we got so used to it that now we're going to in the process now of disbanding the office space, and we're all going to work from home. We're all going to do remotely. Our
Oh,
accountant at the moment is remotely working in Dubai. So, so,
brilliant.
so
Love to see
you know,
it.
well, she's my ex-wife, and she's with me, our daughter. So she's working remotely out there. So
Mm.
COVID, yeah, the remote working from home. That it, it wasn't hard, but it was strange. Something that
Mm.
never ever done it before. So that was that was a bit, yeah. But we've sort of, like, again, a positive. We're now going to take that on further. But COVID never really affected us. Because we were on construction sites. How can I explain? We were on construction sites, so we we're doing security on construction sites. We're offering manpower on construction sites. Now, if when COVID came and they decided to close the construction sites, now they're aware that's now a dangerous area. So that has to have security on it. So we gained, if you know what I mean. They would have to put 24-hour security on that now. So we gained. Our lads who are working during the day on other jobs, they're all got security licenses, so they just went and done security guards. So we never really lost out at all. You
Mm.
know, we're one of the few companies that didn't claim all this money, and we furloughed a couple of the schools that we had. We had to do that because schools closed completely. So we had like car park attendants and people like that. They obviously didn't need it because no one was in the school. But other than that, I think about 3 or 4 people we furloughed, and now they're back working, which is great, you know. So
Yeah,
it
brilliant.
never really affected
Love
us,
to hear it,
COVID.
though. That's amazing. And I think, to be honest, I've spoken to, I mean, over 100 business owners in the
Yeah,
last month or so. And when I asked them this question, it's very interesting to hear their responses. And I'm telling you, the majority of you guys, it's been a positive in some way. It's been
yeah,
hard, obviously, it's been difficult, it presented challenges, but no one ever was like, you know what, it completely demolished us and we learned nothing and it
yeah.
was terrible. That
Well,
even,
you got it right. You got
you
it
know,
right by saying it's a challenge, because it was.
yeah,
That's what.
definitely. But I just
That's
find it
good,
so
isn't it? Challenge is
interesting,
good.
definitely. Yeah, and a lot of people's not only professional lives but personal lives as well. It just put a different perspective on it. It's like, and to me, it just showed how adaptable we are as
Yeah,
people. You know what I mean? And business owners, I feel like you're some of the most adaptable people ever because you're constantly dealing
yeah.
with different changes of the wind, and you never know what's around the corner. You just have to adapt yourself to it and just hope that your business is going to grow and overcome it.
Well, also from our point of view, it showed our clients how adaptable we were,
Mm.
because we didn't. Nobody knew about how COVID, how what rules you had to do, what health and safety around it. But we
Yeah, of
jumped right
course.
in, and we adapted our risk assessments, we adapted our method statements, we
Mm.
adapted it literally off the top of our heads, and it worked. You know what I mean? So it showed our clients, they got more confidence in us. You know,
Definitely. And it sounds like,
and they pinched some of
yeah,
our ideas as well.
security. Yeah, definitely, definitely. In
Yeah.
terms of the future of Provsec, where do you want to take the company? Where do you, I mean, obviously you're 24 years down the line now, but like looking towards the future, maybe looking towards your son and what plans he has for the company, where is it going?
Well, personally, obviously, I don't want to be coming to work every day. For I'm 60 years of age now, so I've actually worked longer than I wanted to. I didn't really want to work this long, but I have done, but only because I enjoy it, to be perfectly honest. But I'd like to be able to stay in the company or in and around the company for another 5 years or so, and then it be in a position where I can say to my son, "There you go, you take it on now. You take it on." And what I'm doing now is he started making more decisions around the company, and especially with the CSR, he's so passionate about that. So he's moving the company on to the next step. If anything, I'm sort of taking a back step already. You know what I mean? A back seat already. So yeah, that's where I would love to be in, say, in 10 years' time, sit back watching the news or something, and my company comes and says, "I started that, and there's my son." You know, so do you know something silly like that? Like I said, a legacy. It'd be lovely that. Now, whether my business partner, whether he's got the same ideas and he wants that with it for his children, I don't know. Or you know, that's where I want to be, sort of thing. I want to be able to sit back and say that I've done something there for my family, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because like I said from the start, Provsec is a family company. You know, we are a family company, and you know that's what we're about. So
Definitely.
It's just natural. That's what I would want to do.
Of course, and I feel like every family company, obviously, it's people based. It's people based,
100%.
you know? And I think, again, you know, more obviously, like these huge national companies, they're successful. They're successful for a reason, but perhaps with family run businesses, perhaps the heart's there a bit more, is maybe a bit clearer in terms of their intention towards people and the consideration towards, I don't know, their customers. I feel like sometimes with these multinational companies, of course, they're amazing, everything that we need, you know, that we're provided for, without, we don't have to, maybe it's fortunate we don't have to deal with some sort of personal aspect from it. Sometimes you want an impersonal approach, but it's so lovely and refreshing to hear about, you know, a family run business who is really interested in that personal approach, like you said, the CSR value, and obviously passing down a legacy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I other companies that we get involved with, because sometimes we'll use subcontractors. When I look at the companies, the first thing I look for is if it's family based.
Interesting.
Because for me, I just feel I can trust a family based company more, because they're totally invested in it, aren't they? It's theirs.
It's their lives.
They're totally invested in it, and that's where we are. We're invested in this company, Mike. I mean, probably one of the biggest issues I've came with in the business and in personal was that my ex-wife is our accountant. She's a director as well. Now, we went through a divorce. But she's a director of the company, so we had to work together. We had to sort of get along. But we've not only managed to do that, we've managed to do, you know, to keep the company strong between us, and also build up a friendship as well, because it's basically it's family. You know, at the end of the day, family is the most important thing, and if you can put that into the business as well, you know, even, I know you probably are, but even our employees, I look at that, they're like family to me. If they're having a problem, I'll say to them, come to me and I'll help you. Speaking even this morning, we was talking to one of the girls this morning about electricity bills and things like that. Look, if you have a problem, come, you know, if we can give you an interest-free loan to get you through it, you know, things we will do things like that. Now, I don't think big corporates are interested in that. You know what I mean? I don't think they would do that. You know, so yeah,
not enough people to care that much. But this is the thing, and like I said, going back to the attention that's being paid to people's work-life balance, there's I think more and more people are looking for a role where they are genuinely and deeply appreciated, and even if they don't
100%.
want it, it's always in the back of their mind. Because if you think about how much time we spend in a working environment, if we don't feel like we're actually valued, like our work means something, like our boss looks at us like you know, somebody important, what's the point?
What you're worth, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And a paycheck at the end of the day is just a paycheck. You could earn the same amount of money doing 100 different things, but what is really going to make you feel special and genuinely, it's like you said, that attention being paid to an individual, it's different, and I'm sure your workers and your employees are so super grateful for your mentality towards them.
But I give you another example, which obviously showed the type of people that we are. I mean, I was on site the other month. I was talking to one, obviously I won't tell you his name, but I was talking, and they just had a baby and everything, and we were chatting about the baby. And as we were talking, he got a phone call off his wife, and the washing machine had broke down, right? And he's like, oh, when am I going to get that? So I said, so what's the matter? So he told me, so I said, tell you what, we'll get you your washing machine. And then, you pay us back X amount of pound, whatever you can afford, and we'll get it. He said, we'll when? I said, we'll do it now, down the phone now, and order it now. So, the look on his face was weird. Just honestly, and that's how we are. It's just how the company is. People might find that, I don't know, might find that that's stupid. You're not going to be a millionaire being like that, but I don't want to be a millionaire. Well, obviously, I do want to be a millionaire. Everyone wants to be a millionaire, but it's not the most important thing to me. You know what I mean? That's not important.
Definitely. And at the end of the day, if you think about it, that action and that attitude inspires more loyalty than any pay ever would. Yeah. That's where you get
the big smile on his face was worth £1 million. And I could hear it. Obviously, I'd never met his wife. I could hear his wife. Oh, honest to God, that'd be lovely. I'm absolutely made up.
Oh my God, the new baby. The last thing you need is washing you do. The amount of washing that needs to be done.
I think he called the baby after me.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, well, it's been so good chatting to you, Gary. Before we close, how can people find you? How can people get in touch with you and access your services?
Well, how can we find us? We're on our website, which is www.provsec.co.uk. And you can email us. It's provsec.co.uk, info@provsec.co.uk, and LinkedIn. You find us on LinkedIn. And we do have a Facebook account as well, but we try to shy away from that, to be perfectly honest. LinkedIn is the one that we will use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, brilliant. There's links below as well.
Yeah. So I mean, the website will show you everything. Just go onto the website, and I'll tell you how to get in touch with us. But yeah, if you're looking for a company that will invest in you as well, then come and see us. You know what I mean? We will look after you. Also, what I will say as well, if you're out there and you've not got a job and you're looking for a job and you're looking for a company that'll look after you, give us a call, because we've got a database. We'll train you, and we'll put you on your way. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you want to get into the construction industry, give us a call. You never know. You just might have the job there. You might phone me and there might be a job just come through and we've got you. But we need your details. We need to just build our database up, and then we'll be in touch with you.
Yeah, so, amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, Gary. That's wonderful. I'll include all of the details, how you can contact Gary, the email address, the link to LinkedIn, and everything. And I'm hoping that a couple of people will take you up on the offer. That's brilliant. Thank you.
All right. Gary. Thank you very much. It's been lovely meeting you and talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Cheers. You take care now.